Welcome to part 7, ZSB restoration. We're moving on. Pretty much got a reasonable rolling chassis now. I really need to leave it alone and start concentrating on the motor really, because it is holding me up. We need to get this engine together. All the brakes are on. The back brake's not set up yet, but all the brakes are on. Most of the parts are on. I've done some electrical checks, and we've got something going on there in the electric, so I'm not too worried about getting all good before we've got the engine in. So I need to get the motor in. That is really holding me up, so let's get on with that. So a quick update on the motor, what I found up to now. So I've basically split the motor down. So the two cases here, the crank's over there, the head is here, and I'm just cleaning it out, meticulously cleaning everything out with the airline, with parts cleaner, petrol, bit of tissue, pointy things, and just going through it. I'm just getting everything, making sure all the bearings are good. As I mentioned before, the output bearing, it should be replaced anyway, so it was a little bit crunchy, so that's gone, that's out, that needs to be swapped. We're just going to go right through this entire engine. So I'm happy with the bottom end. I'm not quite sure how to put the gearbox together because they're all just emptied out, so we'll get the parts book up and we'll have a look at that, and we'll just have to do a couple of trial runs on fitting the gearbox together, make sure everything runs and selects gear. So I could do with doing that today really, and getting all that working. The other issue, the last issue really we've got to sort out now with the engine, whether the engine's going to be usable or not. Well, actually there's another one, but let's just talk about the first one. We've got to get this pin out of the crankshaft, out of the con rod. So I think because it is so badly chewed up, we can make that out, it's pretty bad. I think what we'll do is we'll get the grinder and we'll cut it as close as a day here. We'll get the hot air gun, which has mysteriously started working again, and heat the rod up as hot as we can get it, and then we'll see if we can press it out. Alright, I think we got it. It's moving now. Can't film this. We're doing it. It's just a nightmare really. I haven't really got the equipment. But anyway, this is how I've done it. You can see how I've done it, and that really did not want to come out. So I can't see. We'll have a look anyway, but I'm pretty sure now it's going to be right off this crank. Okay, it's out. Okay, so you can see the score in there on that. That's useless. Unfortunately, I think that's the end of the crank. I think that's just that's a write-off really. Okay, so I won't say that's not disappointing really. I would have liked to have saved the crank. It's a shame really, because the crank is really good, all the bearings are good and everything's good. It's a shame now that the small end's knackered, and because it's a pressed up crank, I have no means to unpress it. So I think we're looking at trying to source now a replacement crankshaft. Oh dear, oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so after that bit of disappointment there with the engine, back to doing the cycle parts. Now I'm super happy with the tank. I spent a hell of a lot of time on the tank, but it's a good tank, so very lucky to have a tank that's not dinged or dented, so it's well worth spending some time on it. So what I like to do is I like to brush paint and black underneath of it, because it's so difficult to spray under there, and I've sorted the top out. We've all sprayed. It goes without saying that I finished all the rust stuff, so all that rust treatment's done. The tank's really nice and clean inside now. Got rid of all of that horrible rust that was causing me so much of a problem, and I'm just going to let this dry off now, and we should be ready for top coat. So just fitted a couple of other little things as they arrive in dribs and drabs through the post. You know, just hunting them out on eBay, reasonable quality items at a good cost. So local dealer had the correct foot pegs, which we got for free when we bought the seats, so that's good. They're pretty much absolutely brand new, really smart. Really like them. And we fitted the toolbox in now. See, that's a little bit awkward. It's sort of got this triangle. You know, we can make that out. Got 3 nuts there, so I just fitted it as. Put this one in loosely first, and then I just got my finger under there, put these in, and I just used a big extension bar and put it in. There's nothing really special there, so that's the toolbox fitted. That toolbox has come out really nice. There's another little tip I do use for cleaning. It's quite good. Just want to clean non-oily items, but just dirty items. Big sandwich container, half a cup of laundry powder, hot water, as hot as you can get it. Put that in, leave it for 10 minutes, and then just clean it with a little nail brush. And you can see that's got all the muck off it. It really does. Laundry powder is really good for just releasing muck. Having a little mess with the headlight today. Now, I've spoken before about these LED headlights. Pretty much don't really like them very much, for quite a few reasons. I'll get into it now, but I've spoken about them before. Anyway, so the problem with this one is when you turn it on, it seems to light all 4 lights up. Right, so I took it apart just to make sure there's no shorts on the board. Right, and if I turn that on, let's see if we can see that. Okay, so you can see that all 4 come on. Right, so I was assuming, probably wrongly, that one is high, lens is high, and one lens is low. But I don't think that's the case. I think if you look at the actual, let me turn that off. Let me look at the board. You can see the red and the blue is the high and low. This is the earth. They both end up going the same way. The only difference is that this blue line goes through these 4 resistors in parallel, where the same as this. These are the same value, M7, M7. Where red doesn't, and if you follow this round, it runs down to here, and then it runs to each end, side ones, and then it runs to this one, and then back to the earth. And I think the only difference is that when you, this is so crap, isn't it? When you flick to high and low, you can see that there's a slight difference in dimness. I guess that's probably more when the engine's running, but, and in dark, it's pretty bright today. So I don't think there's a high and low. It's more like, I mean, high and low beam. It's more like dim and bright. So that's never going to pass an MOT, is it? Not a million years, because it's going to have exactly the same pattern on high and low. What a complete useless thing. It's got no chance. That'll have to go. Let's see how we can keep that. It's definitely going to have to go. Okay, I think we'll finish up part 7 there. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next one we can start getting a bit of paint on. I'm dying to get the red on and the engine. Oh well, we're just still working on a few things with the motor. Anyway, next time.